You two, knock it off. This is a public overlook.
Well, friends, we have a video for you today, and today's topic is robots. Now, in the 1950s, they used to pronounce it robot, but today it's pronounced robot. The only difference is these robots are being used for sex workers and sex objects, especially in China. So let's take a look at a few of these images here, a few of these videos. Let's have a look at the factory where these robots are being produced.
The different robots and their configurations are sort of platforms to engage with that AI or other AIs that you can use with it, like ChatGPT, Grok, or other AIs. You can try on different faces that are magnetically attached, and they're working on putting in RFID tags into the faces so that it can recognize when a new face is on and adjust its facial movements and maybe even eventually adjust the personality to match the face. You've got a lot going on in the robot's face. There's about 17 motors from the neck up, creating eye movements and mouth movements to make it expressive. These robots are available on sale now. So there's 3 basic models that you can buy right now. There's the bust, which is the neck and head. There's a modular version that can sort of be broken apart for shipping and things like that. And there is the full standing model with a rolling base. The rolling base contains a battery and it makes it easy to move the robot around.
So tell me, Robert, if I bought you one of these dolls, these robots with the big butts, would you try it out?
No, I would not.
Well, I mean, I was thinking about it, but who has 18 years to wait?
No, they're already in their late 20s. Real Robotics is one of the companies producing these robots. Very interesting. $178,000 for this.
Depends what you want. I think you can buy base models for a hell of a lot less than that. Ones that don't talk, just anatomically correct. Yeah, just think what happens when these things become mainstream. I mean, you can imagine staying in a 4 or 5 star hotel and you just slide your credit card in and it opens a closet and there's one in there for you, you know. But I hope they don't make them like cars where you have to have a subscription or you can't finish. They should have names for the different dolls. I mean, Mattel could jump in on the game, you know, you could have Bath Time Barbie. Yeah, Mattel, I mean, they make dolls forever. Like Barbie's been around since Ruth Handler in 1959 wanted a doll for her daughter and named it after her daughter Barbara, right?
The other thing about this too that's interesting is if you don't like the look of the robot, you can change the faces. So now we're almost going back to King Solomon, where you can have 1,000 of these and you have a different woman every day. This is pretty much what's going on here.
Yeah, well, the thing is that when you buy one of these dolls, I mean, if you want it, you know, to put it in a little maid outfit or little nursing outfit.
And then, of course, you have these factories that produce the faces. So it's quite an operation here.
Imagine when these things become mainstream on the market and people are putting them up for sale, clean, one owner, never been rear-ended. You imagine that. Don't buy one from Craigslist, because with the different faces, there'll be a good side and a bad side.
The whole point of this in the first place was to end human loneliness. And it actually has backfired on these people. Have you seen some of these AI robots that have just gone berserk? One sees its reflection in a mirror, attacks the mirror, turns around, and then attacks the homeowner.
We've come into a much stranger universe when we start creating these things. Actually, you know, it's going to separate the human race further, because what these dolls will endure is every fantasy on the planet, and that wouldn't really wash in a real type of relationship now, would it? Creating a new industry is what it's doing. I mean, if these things become mainstream, you're going to have repair shops.
Yeah, how would you like to work in a repair shop for one of these?
Yeah, you come in and you have to clean things up and rejuvenate them back to original condition. Like if their hair starts falling out and other things need to be modified, especially for a new owner.
Then you have another situation here where you see these robots inside of an MMA style octagon ring that are Bruce Leeing each other to death. And how much money is that making the bookies?
That could turn into extreme violence. We need to witness that kind of violence. I mean, it's in our movie industry, but it'd be another thing to go to an arena and watch absolute brutality in the ring. You're going back to the Roman times. You're going to have to create animals and everything else, lions and stuff, to battle in the Roman type ring.
Pretty soon it's going to be like Jurassic Park, except it's all going to be these AI robots. You're going to have AI animal robots. You're going to have AI snakes. You're going to have AI everything. This is going to be another Westworld.
Yeah. Or that planet that Star Trek landed on, whatever they were thinking of just magically appears in front of them. We're taking all of these movie ideas and scenes and we are creating it in reality.
Another woman was saying about this same scenario is, she says, here I am, and I'm in a room, and my boyfriend's in the room with me. We just rented a motel. And what's the very first thing he does? He goes into the bathroom with his cell phone. And she says, I'm right here. What's he doing in there with that cell phone? Well, we know what's going on in there. And that's the problem. What do you think these sex robots are going to do? It's going to do the same thing. It's going to take away the experience. It takes away the intimacy. It takes away all of that. And fantasies can be instantly produced. And that's not the way reality works. So you have these channels that are advocating against this. So I don't know. We'll just have to see where this all heads.
Like I say, there's many ways to break down society. And it looks like this could be right at the very core of relationships.
Then you get these other channels. AI robot dolls are on the market in China, and women are pissed.
Of course they would. How can they compete with that? It's available at a moment's notice, 24/7. If you're looking at satisfying personal habits of people, and you're creating these kind of items to do that are the most socially disruptive, because it's right at the primary function of the human species. It hits right to the core. And when you distort that desire, if you call it, right? If you distort that in any way, shape, or form, how are you going to have a normal relationship with another human being?
And that's the problem. And that's why some of these channels are advocating against this.
Yeah. And that's when reality bites.
Now we're looking at some of these other AI robots. You can buy these ones for $17,600. And of course, this AI robot, according to this, just got way too personal. And we all know what that means. It feels almost human. Somebody's testing these out, or they wouldn't know what it feels like.
It must also move in a certain fashion and everything else. Probably has body temperature as well to make it feel more natural. As a matter of fact, I was just thinking the TV series House, and they actually brought the doll into the hospital. And a girl that was very interested in him got introduced to his doll. She always thought he had a girlfriend and then found out it's just a sex doll. Yes, if we just let industries loose with providing products, the companies decide what the public wants and needs, even at the most sensitive type of material or product, right? And they just turn it into mainstream and it just becomes commonplace. I mean, if you're looking at places in other countries, it's very rapidly becoming more mainstream and more accepted to the fact that somebody could have a device to satisfy the most personal and sexual desires of an individual. And the fact that they're providing them in very reasonable terms as far as prices and everything else, as they're increasing and have competition with the manufacturer of these products, what it's doing to society, the negative effect, because anything that's a positive always has a negative effect. But if you take a look at Pfizer Group or whatever, I mean, they could have concentrated on curing cancer, but instead they developed Viagra, which was much better and more satisfying product for the general public, and they're gobbling it up. I don't know how many billions of dollars a year they make. I think it was, the last time I looked, it was like $25 billion in the US, right? For people buying sexual enhancement products, Viagra being at the top of the list. That tells you what society is actually all about. And yet, when women and men can't get along on walking down the street, they're not able to say hi to one another. Everybody's a stranger. Everybody's dangerous. You know, women are talking about that they'd rather meet a bear face to face than a man. I mean, that's crazy, right? Just unbelievable what society has come to. And yet, here so called is a replacement product to satisfy that need. That's reality, and reality bites.
Yeah, this female robot here that China just released, it looks very human and it acts very human, but it's not human. And that's the problem.
Yeah, well, they do have a product out there that is not fully computerized as well. It's just simply a large form factor fleshlight. It lays there, it does it. It has a couple of sensors in it for whatever. Maybe it makes a noise. Who the hell knows? Maybe it vibrates. Who the hell knows? It's got a built-in cleaning system when you see them putting it together. They got hoses and stuff in and a little battery pack somewhere for the sensors. The neat thing is they don't have robots building these things. These are people building these things. And the artwork that it takes to do the faces and the eyebrows and the hair and the makeup, you know, all the skin tones and everything else that they put on there to make them look very, very natural. That's art. Those guys are artists that are producing that. And then, of course, all the different costumes that you can put them in to look after any of your fantasies, right? You're going to have this thing custom ordered so that it fits off the rack clothing.
These AI android robots, whatever they want to call them, they're still not fluent.
Oh, no, the ones that they are trying to make them look more human that way, those are very expensive dolls. And a lot of those are not anatomically correct. Those are companion dolls.
But these start at $17,500. They go up to $30,000. And then when you get the anatomically correct version, now you're looking at $170,000. So that's a lot of change that you're going to be spending.
Right. But you can also buy a doll that's just a rubber doll that is anatomically correct, that doesn't sit and talk to you. And the other one that you're spending that much money in is not cooking your dinner and doing your laundry.
China has this robot, $173,000, this one's worth, has a feature that nobody talks about. Why China had to regulate Moya. So that's the name of this one, Moya. I don't know what this robot has that they had to regulate, but we're going to find out. This is what Google has to say. Moya is a biomimetic humanoid robot created by DroidUp in Shanghai. It acts as a social companion. It mimics human biology, warmth, walking movements, and micro-expressions rather than doing heavy industrial labor.
It has synthetic fat and muscles. It has a hidden camera in the eyes and a biometric spine and rib cage that lets your torso twist and absorb forces just like a human skeleton. Absorb forces, yeah. Okay. And it also what they call the uncanny hidden valley. Okay, well, you know what part that is.
Looks to me like just a couple of guys in there doing the programming. Feels too real to be human. There's the spine. Look at that.
Yeah, that's the one that's $173,000 US. It smiles and winks and walks.
Yes, but it still has a little herky-jerky movement, though.
Yeah.
It's not completely fluid.
Oh, right. Any of those videos you see of the robot, the humanoid-looking robots walking around, those are just actors in costumes.
92% human-like walking accuracy.
Even the Honda robot that does backflips walks better than that. This is the planet we're living on. This is what the general interest is. This is where billions of dollars are being applied in technology to satisfy a very small portion of human need, because the bottom line is it simply can't. It gives relief to a biological function, and then you're just simply left alone.
This reminds me of Electro, the smoking robot at the 1939 New York World's Fair. Now, we started out with this robot, and all it did was smoke cigarettes. That was the first step. And then we come into Boston Dynamics years later, and now these androids or robots can do flips, backflips. They make the little dogs, they make giraffes, they make all kinds of these different robots. And those ones are a little more smoother. They're very, very smooth. Now, today, where in 2026, you have these sex working robots. Imagine if these people from 1939 were brought back today to see what is happening in society, and they get a load of these ones in China. I think their eyes would fall out of their heads. And they thought that was really something back then.
I don't know if it was in the warehouse or his steakhouse, steak and seafood house. It's a long time ago. He had different monkeys that you're going down the stairs into the steakhouse, and the different displays of the monkeys that were animated from the 1920s and stuff like that. You know, they're playing a band and, you know, beating cymbals and stuff. And they had smoking ones like this as well.
Look at that. It cuts the vegetables, it does the laundry, it does everything. And of course, it comes with a different line of clothing, so you can change the clothes on it to whatever your heart desires.
Imagine guys going into Victoria's Secret and ordering stuff for their robotic doll.
Can you imagine the look on the salesman's face? What do you need this for? I need this for my wife. What's your wife? Oh, it's an AI android. Can you imagine the people are going to be laughing their asses off when they hear that one?
Can you imagine these people taking their doll for a sunset drive and then go parking with it? And the police show up to see what you're doing?
Oh, that one robot that they have, it just doesn't look right. They have the mechanical head showing. They dress it up and they do all those things. They don't give it hair. They don't do anything else. And yet it has very smooth reactions, the face, the eyes, everything.
That is a companion doll.
Yeah, it's not anatomically correct.
No, it'll sit there and chat to you all day long. You can have a conversation with it. You can ask it a question. It's no different than sitting there Googling information. It will come back and tell you anything you want to know. It's just an audio version tool to access the internet with. It can sit and watch a movie with you, though, and react to it. Turn down the lights, you're all set. Imagine taking your robotic doll to a theater, watch a movie.
Yeah, well, that's what's going to happen eventually.
Even better, take it to a nude beach, let it get out and get some suntan. I could see people setting that out on their decks, sitting at Malibu and walking by with your dog, and there's a naked sex doll getting a suntan.
And then you see all the people flying drones over top.
Yeah.
They're going to get a surprise when they find out that this is not a human being here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a crazy world we live in for sure.